Hold on. Has an entire week went by already? No. On paper it has. It's kind of like logbooks. You remember the old paper logbooks? People pencil whipped them? Well, I'm behind. So when the Tom gets behind, he's got to double up to catch things up. Hey, I want to say that I don't put these numbers out to recruit you. I'm putting these numbers out so you can see my journey, to see what I'm learning. There's not a lot of companies that are doing this CPM-based lease. I don't know of any other, and I've heard there's one other, but I don't know of any other. And if you do, you can feel free to put them in the comments. But only paying your fixed expenses based on your loaded miles is a novel concept to me. And with today's freight rates being where they're at and doing what they're doing, declining, I think it's a good thing. And I'm looking forward to continuing to do it and seeing how I grow as I learn to use the load board, learn to do some planning. And yeah, you got to really do a lot of planning. You know, I love management. Anyway, I want to say that the reason that I went to the weekly was I saw videos by Cash is King. I'll have a link later in the video to his channel. Cash is King goes live more than anyone I've ever seen. He does a weekly recap every week. Dude's got a ton of energy, great video. He's a true owner-operator, not a lease like I am. I'm a lease, not a lease-to-own, just a lease operator. Anyway, check out the link later in the video when you see it. Let's get ready for this one. Talk to you at the end. The first load of the week went from Wilmington, Illinois to Wilmer, Texas. It was 45,000 pounds, and it was a drop and hook on both ends, 897 loaded miles and 18 deadhead miles. The second load for the week, drop and hook, both ends, 42,000 pound load that had needed to go 627 miles. It needed to go from Dallas, Texas to St. Peters, Missouri. Talk about easy, doesn't get easier than this. The third load from the week was a 44,000 pound load that needed to go from St. Peters, Missouri to Jefferson, Georgia. Again, drop and hook both ends. Another easy squeezy, 627 miles. The fourth and final load for the week, drop and hook both ends. That's becoming a pattern, isn't it? Drop and hook each end. This was a 792 mile load, 23,400 pounds, and it went from Union City, Georgia to Wilmer, Texas. I'd already been to Wilmer once, so that was easy. All right, it's time for the part we all came for, putting it on the glass. Let's take a look at the pay settlement. I'm going to blow up each load so you can see it. You can always pause it. You can compare it to what the website says. Remember, I am in the Central Van Division, and I drive a 2022 Volvo VNL 760. So you can use that when you're calculating what my fixed expenses are and what my revenue should be. I have found that they come up exactly what the website says they should be. Okay, we've had the first two trips. Here comes the third trip. Let's pop it up so we can see it. There we go, right there. And you can see that was from St. Peters, Missouri to Jefferson, Georgia, almost $1,100. Okay, and here is the fourth and final load that I completed this week. Remember, the week ends at Sunday night at midnight. In other words, Sunday night going into Monday. So you got to have the load done and your paperwork in to get paid for it on that settlement, or it'll come out on the next one. All right, this $5,159.88, keep in mind, that is my compensation, all revenue received, minus my fixed expenses. There's a toll on this particular trip. It was $9.20. We have pre-pass, so they charge us when there's tolls, and I expected that. But as my buddy Lyle says, and his channel linked up above, he says whenever he sees a toll, it just tells him there was a harder way that he could have went. And I did analyze both the direction with the toll and the direction without and decided it was worth the $9.20. Per the contract, there is a trailer and a tractor escrow. Now, that is still my money. I get that back if there's no damage to any trailers or damage to the tractor when I leave the company. And now the part we've all really been looking forward to, the amount deposited into my account was $5,000.68. It's not too bad for my second week at Arter. All right, now for the nerds among us, the hours of service. How hard did I actually work to earn that? I did 3,205.1 miles. I had 56 hours and 53 minutes of drive time and a total of on-duty and drive time of 68:36. Time to talk fuel. I had 3 fill-ups. They totaled 459 gallons, $2,322. That's $5.06 per gallon. I did 3,111 miles on that. That's 6.8 mpg. And now my favorite page, the summary page. As you can see, I had 57 hours of drive time, 68.5 hours of on-duty and drive time combined, $5,000 in revenue minus fixed expenses, $2,384 in fuel costs. That leaves a profit of $2,767 plus the $150, which is still mine in the escrow. Now keep in mind, this does not take out any taxes because taxes are different on every single person. And I also want to remind you, there are a couple minor expenses I've not worked into the sheet yet, such as scale tickets, DEF fluid, and tolls. I will get those figured out at some point. Now let's look at the miles per hour. Miles per hour is not what I had my cruise control set at. It's what I average for the day. I simply take the number of miles traveled divided by the number of hours on driveline. As you can see, I really did very well on that Sunday with the 65 miles per hour average. It was Sunday. I was driving in the middle of the night, no traffic at all. 75 mile an hour speed limits, which I couldn't do anyway. My truck's governed at 70. It was a fantastic trip. In the wrap up, I want to take a minute to say something very important. I'm not telling you how to run your business. I'm not telling you how to drive your truck. I'm not telling you how you need to do it. I'm telling you how I do it. I'm going to be doing some videos on how I do my planning because I do route planning. I'm an extensive planner. Is that a surprise to anybody? I was in management. I'm going to talk about how I decide where I'm going to buy my fuel and even where I plan to spend the night. There's actually a method to my madness, and I really do plan these things. But again, just because you're not doing it the same way I am doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. Doesn't mean I'm doing it right. I'm doing it the best way that I know how to do it. I can't tell you how to run your business because things are different for every single one of us. And keep in mind, make sure that you're enjoying every day at work.